end the way you wanted to. But what's your reflection of this season, Alex? I mean, making it all the way as far as you guys.
Yeah. There's a lot to be proud of. You kind of always remember the last game. But you look at all the wins that we accomplished and we did together as a group, and all the different types of ways we won this year is definitely something to look back on and be proud of and not be content about, but build off of going forward.
What's the next step for you personally and maybe for this defense too?
Personally, as far
Just
as
maybe what's your goal this offseason?
oh
Where
yeah,
you want to see
take some time off,
Yeah.
heal up, get healthy, spend time with the fam, get away from football.
You over with that one.
Yeah, yeah. And just continue to build off this year. I think that for me personally, I know where I can take my game, and I think that I have personal goals that I want to achieve that I wasn't able to get done this year, but I think I can build off of what I did this year.
You mind elaborating,
I feel like I have high standards for myself. I think, obviously I want to make Pro Bowl, play at all pro level, and I think that's in me. But as a defense, I think that, just play consistent, play sound football, limit the mental errors going forward, and just being able to take control of a game is, and I think we have changed the narrative of how this team is perceived, but at the same time, we have a lot to build off of.
I think you guys have always been confident on your ability and what you're capable of, but maybe going into it, how did this season compare to your expectations that you have? Maybe you look back at some of the moments and just special, things that came up along the road.
Yeah, to be honest, it's funny, like you said, that, expectations for us is like, you look at the games we lost, we look back at them and be like, man, we should have won them, excluding like one or two of the games. But yeah, that's just the expectation here. That's a standard here, and it's changed from the past, and that's the way we want it, and that's what we built.
It's going to be easy to carry that standard forward. It seems that the principles are in place.
Yeah, for sure. The foundation's in place. It's been laid, and the work's been put in. Just got to keep going forward with the guys that we have and the core group, and add pieces to the draft and through free agency, and go forward with that.
I don't know. I guess I'm still trying to process it all. It's extremely frustrating. You try to be grateful, and I definitely am grateful for the run and the memories and the things that we did accomplish. But it's also really hard to overlook this fresh loss and the what ifs. So that's kind of the frustrating part and where I'm at right now.
How long do you think that may last?
I got no clue. This is the first for me, and it still feels pretty strong right now. So that remains to be seen.
Do any of the positives from the season maybe help take some of that sting out, because there were quite a few this year?
Yeah, I think over time I'll understand that, but also I think even the biggest blessing might end up being the negative, the fact that happened, and hopefully we can manifest that and harness that and turn that into something really special.
Is it harder losing the way you guys lost as opposed to things like going out?
Say that again?
Is it harder to lose, the 17-point lead at the half, going to the Super Bowl, and getting blown out?
I don't know. That was pretty dang frustrating, I'll tell you that. Just really felt like we were in control of that game, and obviously it didn't turn out our way, so it was extremely frustrating.
What did Graham mean to that offensive line this whole year long?
Just, I can't really say enough about Graham as the player. One thing I don't think people realize is his football IQ is up there with as anyone I've ever played with. And for me, being the center, to have someone right next to me has been a huge blessing. He sees things, he understands things, he sees the big picture, and obviously he's talented as a player too. So he's been a huge addition for us, and he's just great hilarious guy and great for camaraderie too, right?
And then I'm not sure if there's a guy who maybe needs an off season more than, I mean, obviously you'd like to be playing 2 more weeks, but just with everything that you've dealt with, what's your process like this off season? How much time do you get back to just where you can start to do football stuff again?
Yeah, I think this year it's gonna take some time. I just need to be healthy. It takes a toll on you.
Yeah.
It really takes a toll on you. So I need to find a way to get back to Frank. And I don't regret any of this at all, but it weighs on you, and it's just going to take some time and really figure everything out to make sure that I'm feeling good. Not only for me, the football player, but for me to be the best husband, the best father, and everything is that as well.
Campbell said one of the things he'll remember most about this team is just how hard you guys fought and the relentless and all of that. And then he said he really wanted to win for the Ragnows and the Deckers. What does that mean to hear that? Because that's pretty special, and there's, not every head coach is out there specifically saying that about his guys.
Yeah, he's the best. He's one of the best people, leaders I've ever been around. Transparent, authentic, passionate, you name it. It's a pleasure to play for that man. I just didn't even realize how good of a coach there is out there until I met him. He's just blew me away, and he keeps continuing to blow me away, and it's just a pleasure to play under him.
You talked about, losing one day being a blessing. How big of a part does a coach like Dan Campbell play in that? Just the fact that you can a day later say you want to manifest that.
I think that's kind of hats off to the culture that he's built as well. But yeah, making sure that not sugarcoating anything, right? Like understanding and processing the fact that the plays were there to be made, and we honestly should have won that game. So he's a big part of it.
And it's hypothetical right now, but if Ben Johnson were to get a head coaching job elsewhere, what kind of challenge do you think it poses for this offense, or how do you guys think you can do as a unit, moving on with whoever may be in that position next year?
Yeah, Ben's one of the brightest people I've ever been around, especially in terms of football. And whatever he decides to do, he's going to be really successful at it because he's a great offensive mind, but he's also a great person, a great leader. But also you look around this locker room and you look around these guys, and then at the end of the day in this league, all these coaches will say it. They always say it all the time. It's about players, not plays. And I think we got a great group here that will be able to handle whatever happens, whether he stays or goes. I think everybody will figure it out.
I hope he doesn't take Hank with him.
I hope not. I hope not. I might have to put a stipulation in my contract right now. If Hank goes, I'm out. I'm just kidding. But I seriously, Hank's been one of the biggest blessings to my career, so I really hope he sticks around.
The way they've gone about their business and then been men of conviction in it and stuck to their guns. I'm just telling them, like, it's made me feel like a kid again playing football with all these guys, and just being able to have everybody like-minded and on the same page it's just been fun and just reinvigorating for me. And then ultimately, like, I know that they're going to do everything they can to add pieces, to add competition to the roster, and just be able to get better in any way we can. And I'm sure if you ask them, this question, their message would be, we're going to get the right guys that fit in here. And that's something they've done a great job of from day one. So, we got a taste, and obviously we didn't get the job done, and that hurts. But when we do have a foundation to build upon.
Let me really quickly just follow up on the right guys, because Dan said that it doesn't matter how talented you are, you've got to be the right type of guy for this locker room. How has being a Detroit Lion been redefined? What is, in your opinion, the right type of guy? What are the characteristics?
I kind of look at it just like as an old school kind of player. Guys that kind of relish in putting in the hours and the hard work to be able to put yourself in a position to be successful when it comes to game day. I don't know what exactly the personality traits guy to guy they look for are, but they do a great job of blending those personality traits where guys get along really well. I just look at our offensive line room. It's like phenomenal group. Everybody gets along so well. Everybody wants to see each other succeed. So yeah, I think they want guys that represent what this city's about. Kind of those cliche things, you know, blue collar, hardworking, resilient. But that's not lip service. That's what we are. And there's something to be said for those kind of intangibles. When you get, you know, 53 guys plus practice squad guys that are kind of all in line with that, you can do something special. And, you know, hopefully this is the tip of the iceberg for us, and we'll have some high standards moving forward into the, you know, the next few years.
How long do you think your window is winning at this level for you guys, especially with you? Your contract's almost up. So
yeah.
Does that increase the urgency for you? But how long do you think the window is open for those games?
I think we can be as good as we want to be for as long as we want to be, as long as guys continue to do the things like we did this year to put ourselves into positions to succeed. Obviously, a young team. You know, I'm not necessarily one of those young guys, but I mean, I even told Hank today, I'm like, I have a ton of good football left in me. So that's not a concern for me. Where it's like, it's next year or nothing. Like I feel like I have plenty of good football left in me personally, and this is where I want to be. I want to be here for my whole career, and because it's a special group, and there's something to be said for being a part of something special, being somewhere you want to be around people that you love. So yeah, I think ultimately it's not necessarily a window, because it's up to us. It's up to us to go out there and execute. Just like, you know, 2 years ago now, we ended the season well, and then there was all the preseason expectations and things like that, and that didn't mean anything if we didn't go out there and execute. And then we went out there and we answered. So now we're going to have to do that again, and we know it's going to be a different group. But a lot of our core pieces are going to be here, and we know that. And we're fortunate to have, you know, talented but also selfless guys. Yep.
Thank you.
Share your emotions, like after waking up after that game, and how you feel.
Yeah, I mean, don't feel any better about it, but you live and you learn. Can't soak on it, you know, too long. I mean, you can definitely think about it and work on what you need to in the off season, and then kind of go from there.
Dan said it was like the perfect storm, right? Just disastrous in the second half where everything went wrong. Yeah. Have you, I don't know if you searched your brain, but do you have an explanation for why everything sort of came undone at once like that?
No, but I definitely didn't help the part.
How do you walk away? You know, I mean, you had a good year, right? You were very, these guys trust you, they love you on the team, but how do you sort of walk away from, you know, those two drops, I guess?
I mean, it happens, man. I know what kind of player I am, and you know, didn't want to drop them. You know, I mean, it happens. I just, you know, do I want those back? Oh, of course, you know, but I can't, and you know, I just gotta work this off season and be prepared for the moment when it comes.
Are you a player who is able to get over things like that relatively quickly, and if so, how do you do that? How do you put it behind you?
I think it's something you learn throughout the years playing this game. Because I mean, if you sitting here soaking on the bad, you know, it's hard to have good come out of it. So, you know, ultimately, you gotta learn from it. You take it as a learning lesson, take it on the chin, and then and move on.
Can your teammates help you with that?
For sure, and they have, man. You know, ain't nobody pointing fingers, because everybody knows it was, you know, there's a lot that went into the game, and you know, it's just kind of how it unfolded.
I think you're on the Rams team in 18 that, you know, went to the Super Bowl and then didn't make the playoffs the next year. Are there any lessons that you can learn from that to make sure that, you know, when you guys come back next year, advice you can give other people about what it takes to sustain this thing, I guess, rather than take a step back?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't gotta say much, because you know, Dan and the coaches have been there, you know, and so they know what it takes. You know, it's gonna be harder next year, you know, because now we're not gonna be too much of the underdogs. So people know what we come with now, and so it's gonna be a little bit tougher, and I think the guys are prepared for it.
it might take days or longer depending on how you process things. But where are you in being disappointed from yesterday, and just on the other side, looking at all the things that you guys have done together as a team this year?
I think it's a fine line right now. You know, it's still close to where it just leaves that nasty taste in your mouth. But I'm not gonna let it ruin my off season. You know, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna continue to get better. You know, I'm gonna continue to take care of my body and do everything I can to just come back and learn from these mistakes.
Thanks, Josh.
I don't know how you're going to survive.
I'll be good. Sounds like last offseason.
Yeah. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
What's the big focus heading into your second season?
Just continue to grow. Get 1% better every day. Continue to gel with my teammates and continue to be a good leader.
Not anything specifically on the field, just in terms of mechanics, footwork, learning schemes, reading defense, all of it?
I mean, of course, continuing to build my mental is going to be pivotal. Just getting those mental reps and getting the real physical reps as well that I didn't get, this past season. And continue to motivate others to get better as well.
How to getting back late in the season, being able to practice and do all that, do you think prepare you for being a backup quarterback in your second season next year?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. It gave me an opportunity to get my feet wet and see what real action looked like, especially in a competitive situation. Sometimes I'd be thrown into red zone, or sometimes I'd be thrown into third down. So it's a blessing to be out there and to be able to command the huddle and direct guys and give guys accurate balls so they can be playmakers.
So you're looking forward to just a natural off-season, right? Being able to work on your game and not rehab and not everything that goes with that, but just football and getting yourself better.
Yeah. I don't think I've been more excited to go into an off-season before in my life. But really, I'm just excited to go work on my craft and polish these little details, that I really want to embark on this offseason.
What was your relationship with Jared?
Yeah, Jared's my guy. He's a great teammate, a great guy off the field, and a baller. As you can see, he can sling it. Very smart, and sometimes I give him a little joke about his athleticism. I call him Vanilla Vic.
Hey, I may have missed it. What is your off-season plan routinely? Where will you be? What will you be doing?
I'll be a little bit everywhere, just connecting with my guys wherever they are.
You don't have like a quarterback's coach that you work with all the time, or is there?
Teddy Bridgewater.
I was going to ask about that. You talked about Jared. You just mentioned Teddy, but your first year is unique, just that you witnessed a season like Jared Goff had, and just the Rams game, just some of those pressures, and then you had a veteran in his final season like Teddy. How much have you grown just being in the position that you were in this season?
I've grown a lot, grown an awful lot, just from coming in not knowing what to expect, especially with my knee and rehabbing that and not knowing when I would be 100%, to actually being 100% and continuing to learn the playbook while not taking physical reps, which is a little awkward because even growing up, you still take physical reps. That's how you learn plays when you're growing up. But being able to be with Teddy and Jared and ask them questions, and they never hesitated to help me.
And I know J-Mo, through injury, said being away from football made him so excited to come back. That plus everything you witnessed this year with just how special it was, how excited are you for next year and just being full go?
Yeah, very excited. It's been a dream to be in this position, and wouldn't want to do anything to jeopardize not being in this position. But I remember my first practice being able to take scout team reps. My palms were sweating. I was so excited to get out there. I had to calm myself down.
When did you trust in me? When did you know it was okay?
Thanks, Hendon.
Having a full year under your belt, how much more confident will you go into off season now, having had this year under your belt?
Yeah, no, much more confident. Just happy, excited, really, to start the new season. Like you said before, like being healthy. I feel like my confidence was just growing every week. It's going to grow in the off season as well as I go back and watch myself, and I know I'm probably going to be kicking myself. There's probably a lot of plays I left out there,
throughout the whole season. But you know, I'm just happy to finish this year healthy, and the confidence is just going to keep growing.
What is the focus for you this offseason? Where would you like to maybe see your game?
Everywhere, to be honest. I think I improved in every area as a safety, as a DB from my second year, and I just want to continue to improve. Like I said, it's only my second year at safety, really a year and a half at safety, so I just want to keep getting better in all areas.
Will it be easier to improve with the core principles that are in place right now with this team?
Yeah, I think so, because I already know, like, it won't be as much mentally, because I'll know the scheme, unless it gets changed, I'm not sure, but the scheme, and it'll be less mentally and more just physically, I would say. Mentally, like studying tape, but not in terms of like scheme and plays.
Health was such a big thing for you. I think just didn't give you the opportunity the first couple of years because you were healthy this year. Was there something that you did last offseason that maybe contributed to that, and do you do the same thing, sort of this offseason since it worked?
Yeah, definitely like to thank my trainer at Yo Murphy, my trainer, and Julie, the athletic trainer. Also spend a lot of time with TB12, like the rehab place in Tampa. So that's what I'll be doing again this offseason.
When do you get back at it? Like how soon? How much time do you need off before you?
I usually start training like first week of March.
Okay. And I want to ask you about your prowess as a blitzer. I don't know, where does that come from? A lot of times you think of that as the edge guys, right? You're playing in the back end, and you were pretty darn effective at that. So how did you develop that this year? Where did some of that come from?
Honestly, I don't even know. Like, I blitzed one time in college. I had a sack on my one blitz in college. I think it was just like my size and athletic ability, and then I learned to use my hands this season. And just really meeting with AG, and he would explain the blitzes to me, like, we're showing down here, they got to slide this way, you're going to come free, it's going to be you or the – like, he would explain the blitzes to me, so I would really, like, trust it. And then it was, like, just timing it up and working on my disguise, because, like, my rookie year when I would blitz, it was so bad. Like, they didn't want to send me on any blitzes when I was trying nickel, so I just had to I had to work on that, and then I don't know, it kind of just all fell together.
What were you doing rookie year that was so bad?
I was either just tipping it off like I was going, or I was just going way too late and I would never get there. But now it was like I kind of find the happy medium of knowing when to kind of show it and when not to, and when to stem into it on the cadence and everything. There's a lot of things that go into a play clock as well.
Yeah.
So I just kind of worked on all those things.
Trial and error with you becoming so effective this year too, like with him feeling comfortable to use you, seeing it in practice, and being like, oh man.
Yeah, no, it really started from the one-on-ones versus the tight ends.
Okay.
I was doing really well in those. Like, everyone would tell me, the whole staff, even the strength staff would tell me. They would watch them all together. So it just really started from there.
Is there a moment, something that happened, a memory from this season that you think you'll remember most?
I'll remember definitely the Minnesota interception, or just that game in general. I'll definitely remember the Chicago, the Chicago start, because that was my first start that wasn't really due to someone else's injury. I was really nervous for that one. I feel like I had a lot of pressure. Those two I'll remember for sure. I mean, the whole season is memorable in itself, but those two.
I mean, you got one of them over your shoulder, but what will you remember about this team?
Just the players, honestly. Just the players, like everyone's personality, how it was in the meeting rooms, how it was at practice, in the locker room. Like, it was just a fun group to be around. So I'll just remember everyone individually, I guess.
What about you, Kirby?
I love all my dogs.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.